rise the colors high.
Have you ever wondered what lies beneath the surface of the deepest waters of the ocean? Those places so deep that not even the sunlight can reach? Because if you have, I'm almost certain you have realized the true dimensions of our oceans. We know for a fact that to this date, we know more about the cosmos itself than the deep ocean that lies right here at home. Just the thought of it triggers something in us, a fear, an energy, a specific thing that makes us flinch a little. The experts call it Thalassophobia, an intense fear of persistent feeling that lives in many of us, that triggers whenever we are face to face with deep water bodies, most specifically the ocean. The true magnitude of it is still unknown to the experts in the topic. There's many things that keep being discovered to this date, things that sometimes escape any expectation that we previously had from the ocean. Like for example, in these past decades there's many species that have been discovered, and between them we can highlight a few, such as the mystery mollusk, the way people have named it, or by its scientific name that I obviously can't say. It was first observed around the 2000s in the Monterey Bay, and it was studied for decades until they officially named it a new species in November of 2024. It lives from 1,000 to 4,000 meters of depth in the water. It also traps small crustaceans with their hood to eat. It's that clear membrane that literally looks like a hood, and it has also been observed that it can light up when it feels threatened, a very particular feature that species from the depths have that is still so amazing to perceive. It's such a beautiful creature, but it's absolutely crazy to think that this is a real thing. It exists in the same planet as us, and it even looks alien to what we are used to see. Wild facts, right? Or, for example, there's also the barrel-eye fish, which lives about 800 meters deep in the water. The curious thing about this fish is that it has a completely clear head. You can literally see what's going on inside its head, and I'm not talking about thought. The curious thing about this species is that it has tubular eyes and that it's extremely sensitive to light. So that means that it's able to capture the most faint shadows of other animals, such as its prey that it eats from. And that's talking about species that you can be like, okay, I can understand why this looks like so. Or you may think that they don't even look that crazy, but there's other species, other types of creatures from the depths that appear that came from science fiction. Did you ever watch Finding Nemo? You might remember that creepy fish with the light that chases down Doris and Nemo's dad like crazy. Oh well, let me tell you, that fish is real. It's very real. It's called the anglerfish, and it can be found in the ocean around 600 to 2,000 meters deep, maybe even a little deeper. It uses that little antenna in their head that lights up in the dark at the depths of the water that attracts other small animals near, and when it happens, this fish uses its large sharp teeth to basically snap their prey, acting almost like a Venus carnivorous plant. It's funny how well they portray the behavior of this creature in Finding Nemo. We see how Doris and Nemo's dad are literally lured into its light, and then eventually this fish tries to eat them with the bite. And this is one of those species that make you question everything you understood that can be real. And of course, obviously, once again, it was found in the ocean. Let me ask you this. Have you wondered what else lies? What else exists down there? Picture this. What type of creature that are yet to be discovered down there? Beings that don't look anything familiar to what we are used to. Beings that even escape the mundane imagination. And I already showed you a few good examples, but what we just saw is just the surface, the tippy top of the iceberg. Have you heard about the bloop? If you don't, let me do a quick dive with you. The bloop is one of the most mysterious sounds ever recorded in the sea. It was traced to a remote area of the South Pacific Ocean in 1997. NOAA's underwater hydrophone network picked up an unusual, low-frequency sound that did not match any other spectrum of sound known by the human being back then. It was attributed to maybe a large layer of ice movement that resonated through a very wide distance of its origins, but the seeming consistency in the nature of the sound frequency itself is what kept adding more questions than answers to the topic. Let's hear a little bit of it and picture this. What kind of event, or worse, what kind of being could create such sound in the ocean that reverberated through thousands of miles away from its origins? Isn't it overwhelming to just think about the fact that the sound known as a bloop could easily be one of those creatures from the depths? Just imagine the dimensions, the size, the magnitude of such being. How would it look like? What behavior would have, or even what was the trigger of the event? What thing on earth can create such strong sound that can be heard thousands of miles away from its origins? What thing on earth can create such strong sound that can be heard thousands of miles away from its origin? That lies in the ocean, exactly the part of our world that we know the least about. Because of events like this, nobody truly discards the fact that maybe down there, unimaginable things exist. What if Thalassophobia exists in us for a reason? What if it's not an irrational thing? What if it's a mechanism that is primal, that is centuries prior to society? Something that survives in the most sensitive ones for a reason. The ocean is no joke. An entire universe lies down there. And all the strange creatures we have found down there so far, and events such as the bloop, is what keeps us wondering What is the true nature of the depths of the ocean? Is it friendly? Is it hostile? How do these creatures look like? How does the environment truly looks like? Besides the thousands of miles of just pure darkness, what kind of beings can survive the pressure of the water at such depth? Mysteries, mysteries, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. And something very obviously tells me that we are not done with this topic of the ocean yet. But for now, this portal is closing. My name's D. You know exactly where to find me. Stay tuned.